Om Shri Sai Ram, invoking Bhagavan's presence and offering my most loving pranams at the lotus feet of our dearest Lord, Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. Respected elders, brothers and sisters of the Sai family, Sai Ram to everyone. We welcome you this evening to the 115th episode of Samarpan. Samarpan is an offering of gratitude from the alumni of Sri Sathya Sai Educational Institutions, premiering on third Sunday of every month. It is an evening for all of us to come together and relive our cherished memories and magnificent moments spent with our dearest Swami, recapitulate his word, his work, and his way, and share this joy and bliss. This evening, we are thrilled to have Dr. Ramesh Wadhwani with us. Dr. Ramesh Wadhwani first came to Swami in the year 1979 at the behest of his wife, Mrs. Sunita Wadhwani. He completed his Bachelor of Engineering from Pune University in 1963 and Masters of Engineering in Electronics from the Indian Institute of Science in 1971. He received his Doctoral of Science in Electrical and Biomedical Engineering from Washington University in 1977. With more than 40 years of experience in software architecture and application development, Dr. Vadhvani found his passion in telecommunications, medical diagnostic systems, and investment banking. As the founder and CEO of Sai Systems International, a technology and healthcare company in the US, he has extended his expertise to projects at Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Sathya Sai Schools, Seva organizations in India, in the United States of America, and several other countries. He is also the president of Prasanthi Trust. It is a US based charitable trust, support of Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust in Prasanthi. Prasanthi Trust creates awareness of the magnificent projects being executed by our dear beloved Bhagavan in Puttaparthi, in Sri Sathya Sai Seva organizations, and all over the world. He has had many opportunities to participate in several Seva projects through Prasanthi Trust, alongside the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust and several other Seva organizations. Once he had lost his corporate job, and Mrs. Vadhvani called out to Swami while at a Sai center in St. Louis, requesting Swami to please find a job for her husband. In a few weeks' time, he received 9 job offers. They came to thank Swami. During one of his early conversations with Swami, as he was taking the goodbye Padanamaskar at the interview door, he humbly asked Swami, "Swami, when may I return?" And out came an unexpected yet a very profound eye-opener reply. In a commanding voice, Swami said, "When you leave your mother's house, do you ask her when I can come back? I will be there waiting for you." Dear brothers and sisters, now Dr. Vadhvani will be sharing from his treasure trove of experiences with our beloved Swami. And let us all immerse ourselves in the reminiscences of his prema and his mahima. Over to Dr. Vadhvani.
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my most humble Koti Koti pranams at Swami's divine lotus feet, my divine mother, father, friend, teacher, doctor, God, verily everything for us. Sai Ram, dear brothers and sisters and respected elders, my gratitude to entire Brindavan team for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences with beloved Swami in the Samarpan Satsang with all the listeners worldwide. Swami, my humble prayers to guide my thoughts and to speak through me and shower your grace on all. Swami, our most earnest prayers for you today to have mercy on the mankind, to eradicate this dangerous virus that has spread all across the world. Samarpan is an offering of our gratitude by recalling and ruminating our experience with Swami. However, with emphasis on our own introspection, are we progressing on our spiritual journey? Or are we making our lives his message, which he desires? When it comes to Swami's experiences, it is worth noting, just like each one of us born with a very unique DNA, so too Swami provides each one of us with unique experiences, customized, so to say, to our own unique spiritual and emotional DNA. By Swami's grace, I plan to share few such select experiences of my family, which not only brought us closer to Swami, but has helped us to truly understand the purpose of human birth. Or verily, he has helped us to experience God as a very intimate friend with whom we can talk about anything. So let me start off with our first exposure to Swami as to how we got, got to know about him. It was around autumn of 1978. My wife Sunita had first visited Sai Center in St. Louis at behest of a family visiting friend while I was away to Boston for a job interview. As a background, I've been looking for my company was shutting down where I was working, and I was looking for a job for the last 6 months with not much success. So here goes. My wife goes with a friend at Sai Center, and her prayer to Swami directly was, "My husband has lost his job and searching for one since last 4+ months. I believe you is God if you will find a job for him soon." The following Thursday, she also took me to Sai Center in the evening. It was Thursday. As I entered, the mere sight of Baba's altar picture resulted in sort of electric current rising up my spine. Instantaneously, an inner voice nudged me, "You have found God." I needed no answer, no justification, and had no questions. It was instantaneous. On return to home, as we entered our house, we experienced a jasmine flowery scent diffuse all through the house, which of course we learned later that this is how Swami enters devotee's life as a signature. Sunita had still not told me about a prayer challenging Swami to find me a job. And yet, every Thursday for next 9 weeks, I received a job offer in the mail. And all 9 positions came from very large Fortune companies spread all across the United States. Tremendous experience. The teachable moment here is, as a new entrant to Baba's fold, what overwhelmed me the most was how gracefully Baba intermixed various job offer events, letters from various disjointed companies to dispatching of the offers and planning their arrival on each Thursday. Indeed, it was a reminder that it was all his blessings in response to Sunita's prayer on their first encounter when she went to Sai Center. In my experience, the beauty of any initial encounter with Baba is like that of a honeybee's first trip to flower, which inevitably is followed by endless trips to flower gardens for the taste of the nectar that was tasted the first time. Similarly, we too started making frequent annual family pilgrimages to Baba's divine abode. So here was the first trip, which was about that year, 78, about December, late December. We went to express our gratitude to Swami. and received blessings for the new job before I took the job. The very next day, Baba took my letter, blessed me, autographed the book, and as he was moving away, he turned around and says, "Where are you from?" And I said, "So, Baba, from St. Louis." He looked sharply in my eyes and said, "Very happy," and walked away. It was just a short 2-day trip, but we had our blessings to proceed with the job. Successive years, we visited Swami, and he always would ask, "Where are you from?" So I would invariably answer, "From St. Louis, from Northern Virginia, from Connecticut," and things went on like that. So for many years, we did not have any personal interview with Swami. However, I would say we had numerous close, loving darshans in which he granted us small conversations as he passed by us. He also granted us many seva opportunities from the time we were there. So these encounters brought us great joy, happy moments, and we were happy that he was accepting our letters and steering our family ship with gentle, tender, loving care. Fast forward 11 years. It was my birthday, March the 7th. By now, I had learned I can take a chit and sit in a special place. So they allowed me to sit in the front row with the birthday tray in my hand. Swami came and stopped by me. He blessed the tray. He gave me Pad Namaskar. And he walks away. He asked me, "Where are you from?" I said, "Baba, from you." And he uttered, "Go." Believe me, I did not know what the go meant. This was my first experience. The gentleman sitting next to me says, "So Baba has called you for an interview. Why are you sitting up here?" So I jumped and ran behind many other were ahead of me for the interview. So a local group of people. So not knowing the etiquette of interview, I just was the last one to enter, and I sat by myself by the Swami's door. And as we all settled down, Baba asked again, "Where are you from?" I said, "From you, Baba." Baba uttered something in Telugu, and there was big laughter. I know it was on me. I don't know if I said the right thing, but interview was complete in Telugu, so I couldn't really understand anything. But I was in seventh heaven, not understanding anything. My eyes were fixed on Divine Lord, and I was in trance all the time. Towards the end of the interview, the compassionate Lord takes mercy on me and summons me to come forward. Being so near to him, took the opportunity and kissed his lotus feet. Then I knelt beside him, my hands in a folded prayer. And Swami looks at me, asks me, "What is your name?" I said, "Ramesh." "Do you know the meaning of Ramesh?" I said, "No, Baba." He said, "Ramesh is Ra plus Me plus Ish. It got 3 syllables." So I said, Ra Me means one who is always in ecstasy. And Ish is God, engrossed in God. So he says, Ramesh is one who's constantly in ecstasy and engrossed in God. And as he said that, he got up from his chair and materialized a nice ring, Shiva Lingam ring. It was this ring with the linga mounted on top of the ring and studded with 9 colored stones. And he showed to everybody that the Ishvara Lord linga on the ring, and he put this ring on my finger. But my dear friends, story doesn't end there. The linga is very important here because when I left India in 1971, a local priest that I used to go to in temple had given me a lingam. He says, "Take this with you, and this always do good to you." So I've been worshipping Lord Shiva through the linga for the last 20 years, 1971, 1991. And the teachable moment for me here was, the little that I know, I was destined to meet the full incarnation of God who will reinforce my faith in Lord Shiva. The unique bond between God and devotee is only God knows what the bond is, and how gracefully Baba reveals his ID to a devotee like me. Next, I would like to share with you another health experience. Two health experiences. This one is my mother. It was May 1993. My mother was in a coma on a respirator life support. My mother had several heart problems over the years, but this was one of the worst ones. And this experience all about path of Swadharma. When you have multiple options, you have multiple right choices, then what is the right choice? What is the right dharma that you can pick from here? Now, as she was sick, my wife had planned to take 12 girls from the United States for Swami summer course because she had promised them. They were ready to go, and Swami invited them. So this was her dharma, whether she should go and meet her mother-in-law, because the in-laws are asking her to come there, or should she take a path to take girls to Swami as planned. And on the same time, this dharma to our siblings, we brothers basically, who had summoned me to go there, what path they should take about the mother, because the doctors would not let them have the respirator for that long. A, it's not good for the patient. B, the shortage of respirators in the hospitals. So that decision could not be made. And it was test of faith for us. So as I arrived in Pune, basically, and the plan was I'll go there, see my mother, do something, come back, and then Sunita at the meantime, Sunita will come back. She had decided by then her dharma was to go to Swami, and her prayer to Swami was, I'm coming to you with girls, but make sure you take care of my mother. She also told him inwardly that your name is at stake. If anything happens to my mother-in-law, then Swami will say, this daughter didn't come to see her mother. So that was her prayer at that point in time. So as soon as I reached Pune, all my other four brothers were there. It was a family decision that I should go and consult Swami what to do. So I arrived this one Thursday. I had basically 4 darshans. I arrived for the one Thursday, Friday and Saturday morning supposed to go back. And reached that, luckily, I was asked to join 3 sessions, Swami's house. Like after evening bhajans, some of the guests are allowed to go in Swami's house while Swami sees the boys. So there was a first encounter. And Swami didn't talk to my mother, neither take my letter. All he told me, tomorrow you go to Puttaparthi, see the boys and come back to teach them what the right and wrong things of using the computer. He was not happy how they were using computers, basically. So that was my duty. There was a command given to me. So next morning, I took a taxi, went to Parthi, was welcomed by the warden there, had conversations with them, and I headed back. I was just in time for the evening darshan on Friday. So I went to prayer session. Swami didn't see me, didn't talk to me, didn't ask how the visit went. So it was just a regular darshan in Swami's house. So here I was worried. I came here for a purpose. The purpose was, what do we do with mother? How do we handle it? We wanted his guidance. Next morning, I talked to the warden and requested a special seat near the Trey Brindavan gate. He said, if Swami wants it, he'll definitely pick you up with this is the place he's going to cross from to go for darshan. I stood there, Swami came, he took my letter, I was happy, and he walked away for darshan around the Brindavan tree. And here I was thinking, but now Swami took my letter, he's not said anything, what will I go tell my brothers? This whole dilemma, this inner chat was going on. As Swami was returning, he crossed me. I was thinking, wow, he was 20 feet away. Now the chance is gone. I would take a flight, go back, and I was in a dilemma. What will happen? So Swami see me, not see me, dekega, nahi dekega. All that chatter was going on in my mind. And as that chatter was going on, Swami turned around the 20 feet away and says, "Hey, you come." So there are a bunch of South Americans. One gentleman was in a wheelchair being pushed. I followed them, went inside. As we sat in Swami's house in a three session there, Swami looked at the man on the wheelchair and he asked him to get up. And the lady in the group says, "Swami, don't do that. He is like this from his childhood." Then Swami says, "I know." Then he got up from his chair and went and tapped his knees 3 times. And then he said, "Now get up." Then, of course, Swami was there. He got up, Swami could hold his hand. And then he walked him into the interview room with the rest of the people. And when he came back, here was the drama. Swami said, "This man can not only walk, but he can sit squatted and do meditation." It was laughter and love and lots of claps for the cured patient. And I was thinking to myself, if Swami can do that, my mother can be well, but it is left to him. So as I went inside, my friends, my turn, and Swami told me, "क्या बोलता है? Swami देखेगा, नहीं देखेगा, बोलेगा, नहीं बोलेगा." He could immediately tell me exactly what was going in my mind. I told him, "Swami, what do we do? My mother is sick and doctors are taking respite away. We don't know what to do." And he says, "Don't worry. You're doing seva to mother. Continue to do seva to mother. Swami will give prasadam. Leave everything to God." That was the only. As we came out, we all got a vibhuti. I was the last one there. Swami took the vibhuti and a bunch of them put my hand. "This is for mother. Ma ke liye hai." And as we leaving back, I'm looking at the people in front of me. The lady pushing the empty wheelchair, and the person was cured by Swami, walking freely. It dawned on me, if that person can walk like that, if Swami wills it, there was his will that he should be all right. He became all right. If he wills it, my mother will be all right too, but it's left to him. I should surrender to him completely. With that thought, my friends, I proceeded back to Pune by the noon flight. And as I reached there, I gave the instruction by my brothers, take the vibhuti, mix it in intravenous fluid, stop all the medications, because they're importing medication all over the place, and just follow the instructions. And I left, I received my wife, the 12 girls, and they went to the Bangalore flight. I took my US flight. I reached in US 24 hours later. I called the hospital, "How is mother doing?" And they told me, "She's completely all right. She's out of the ICU, in the regular room, and reading Sukhmani part for you to bless you for what troubles you're facing." I had other business problems going on. So, my dear friends, if Swami wants to cure, he cures. So, teachable moment from here was, on reflecting back, I now realize that Swami knew he was going to cure my mother, to extend her life a few more years. However, how gracefully he intermixed the events and experiences in one trip so that we, his children, could learn the meaning of duty. He guided my wife to do her duty to 12 USA girls. And he guided us as brothers to do duty and serve our mother. Moreover, he did his duty out of mercy to his devotee by extending the life of a mother. That's God. I'll take one more healthcare experience which is related to me. I had 2 or 3 different episodes, but I'll take this one. This was how I was cured of my sciatica problem by Swami's grace. This was about in March to August 2006. A very long chronic sciatica episode, which clinically was supposed to be a lifelong disability. It was also my 60th birthday, and my wife had not joined me to Perthi. I hurt my lower back, but in January that time, and I ignored it, ignored clinical warnings, and didn't tell my family either. And it gotten worse in my travels to India for a week that week. And when I was in Perthi, Dr. Sundaresh was in Perthi that time. He examined and recommended me the bed rest. But being my 60th birthday, and Swami asked me to come on 60th birthday, and that he was going to join darshan of me and my wife, I had to go. And I don't know why I got into a wheelchair. I didn't take a wheelchair. I was so much engrossed in Swami, so I had to go for darshan. Believe me, from South 5 building, which normally takes 2 minutes to the mandir, that it took me 30 minutes, stopping every few yards and taking a deep breath. In the process, probably I hurt myself more. And as I went for the darshan, Swami completely ignored me. Obviously, it was foolish on my part to put my body with that kind of danger. I came back to Pune, took some steroid medications, RX medications, which would give me temporary cure. And it affected. I returned home all right for a week. And my wife and my daughter-in-law got a special invite to go to Kodi for our first time, and a friend had invited them. So I encouraged them to go because I was feeling better, basically. In a couple of days, the pain again turned to worst. From there on, I was totally a roller coaster ride. It was a very complex L4, L5 lumbar issue with the disc bulging almost halfway out. Multiple doctors were working on me. No RX medicines, no physical therapy was giving relief. I was bedridden for literally 6 months. The neurologist warned me, Ramesh, I'm seeing 10% loss in your nerve sensation. If you don't operate your back, possibly you'll amputate your leg in 6 to 9 months and get more disability. I couldn't believe it. So finally, when nothing was working, the doctor suggested for temporary cure that you want to go to travel, which we don't recommend. We give 3 epidural injections over 5 weeks. They gave me 2. The third one, they gave it me at my own risk because you cannot take more than 3 in a year. And that gave me some relief. A local Sai friend was also going for Atiyudra Mahayagna at that point in time. He said, I will take uncle with me. So he took me along. It was Atiyudra Mahayagna. We arrived a day before the Purnahuti. Next to Purnahuti happened, my friends. I was sitting in the portico. I was braced from top to my back. I had a walker in my hand. That's only how I could get there. And the next day of the Purnahuti, I know that day what happened was there were so many people around me, but I was sweating from head to toe as if I came out of a swimming pool. I did not know why. Nobody else was sweating. Next day, Swami called me for the interview with another couple from Europe. And he looked at me and told me, Swami, with your grace, with a friend, I'll be able to come here. I was missing you a lot. He said, and Swami told me, yes. Very excruciating pain. There was a lot of pain like that. And then he touched my knee and put hand back like this up. And he said, pain chala gaya. Pain chala gaya. Like 3 times. And he says, you're done. I walked out with brace out, with walker out. I was walking completely cured. Swami is the master of time. He knows the right time to intervene. Swami often chides his devotees, love my uncertainty. I put me through this trouble for myself. There may be some karma of the past. And he let me suffer for 6 months. He only knows why he let me go to that pain. But one thing I've learned, Sai Sankalpa, when he wills it, it is evident that as soon as Swami wills anything, without any delay, I feel the five elements, nature and all unseen divine forces, gather together in perfect harmony and in unity at lightning speed to execute his command of his divine will. And things happen. We've seen this happen many, many times. And my friends, it's now 14 years that I've had yet to take an annual epidural injection. The doctor told me, if you take these three, you feel temporarily all right. Every year you take one. It's 14 years, my back is perfectly fine. A couple very few one-liner hilarious moments with Swami, and I'd like to just take a moment and talk to you about them. One, I was in an interview, and Swami took his open palm and showed I'd be asking around, what is in my hand? There were many foreigners in the interview room, and somebody said, Swami, empty. Somebody said, Swami, we do not know. Somebody said, Swami, this hand can bless anything. And then it came to my turn. I don't know what happened. Swami, everything. And Swami said, aha, everything is nothing. Nothing is everything. This hand can give whatever it wants. Such an eye-opening moment. My takeaway was here is nothing happens without Swami's will. I always believed, with or without us, Swami will succeed in his sankalp, no matter what it is. He gives us all the opportunity to serve. It is up to us if we want to play a small role en route to a life mission, which is self-realization. That is his mission. I take another small one. This is my mother, which was, like I told you, taught well. So a couple of months later, it was November 1993, I was sitting in Swami came there. He says, Swami, mother likes to come. Should I get her? Because I would dare not take her with her condition. She just cured 6 months back, 4 months back. Swami said, bulao, bulao. So she flew down to Puttaparthi airport with my sister. And as soon as she arrived about lunchtime, Swami called us for an interview in the afternoon. And as soon as she came, Swami invited her for an interview. It was as she was sitting up there, Swami held her hand, escorted her in the interview room. And I thanked Swami as escorting her. He said, yes, the thing is working in the body. All bones are cracked. But Swami is holding her all the time, like that. And as she went in the interview, she had nothing to ask Swami. She went in personal interview room and Swami said, how are you? What do you want? Her simple mother, simple thing. All that he wanted was, Swami, thank you for you've done this thing for me. But my sons are not sending me to Calcutta. The Swami didn't know why she wants to Calcutta. The Swami tells me, granddaughter ka shadi hai. Granddaughter is getting married. So she wants to go there. Send her. I will be with her. Don't worry about her. This is how Swami is. He knows everything. He assured us that we can send her and she'll be all right. And of course, then cut the story short, she did went and came back okay. So what a loving grace of protection the Lord of the universe is giving to a humble, simple soul. And he knows what's happening in each one of us. The final third one is something that is very dear to me. It was one of the interviews on Swami inaugurated the hospital, November 25th, 2 days later, 1991. It was a PM after interview. And I was sitting next to Swami and a bunch of many other devotees from worldwide. And Swami asked me, what do you want? I said, nothing, Swami, I just want you. And I had no reason to ask anything. He said, me? Then you want everything. And he materialized a beautiful bracelet with Om on it. And when he materialized, he says, he's showing the bracelet to Om, he says, I am not this, pointing to himself. I am this, Om. This is what I am. And he gave it to my hand. He says, take it, I'm coming with you. So 20 years before itself, I say, Swami informed me that he's not the body. He's the cosmic form Om. Little did I realize this was making me ready 20 years later that he may be leaving the body, and he's focusing on us not to get attached to the body. My dear friends, Swami is not gone anywhere. He is with us like Om, all pervasive, with us. He'll be with us wherever we are. He'll guide us, protect us. He'll talk us like he always did in his physical body. He reminds us it is not the cosmic side that we need to remind the cosmic side to get his attention. And he also reminds us all the time that you are Atma Sarupa, you are Prema Sarupa. That means the inner side with us is what we need to call upon and carry out his work with full faith and vigor. He'll make us successful. There's another final episode that I'd like to address. It was one of the interviews, and that conversation sparked an aspiration for intense commitment to do Seva for me. And eventually that conversation led to creation of Prasanthi Trust. So as I was taking blessings from Swami at the interview door, I prayed, Swami, when shall I return? Swami immediately responded with an unexpected but thought-provoking question to me. When you leave your mother's house, do you ever ask her, when can I come back? Feel free to come whenever you want. I'll be here waiting for you. Then he went on to say, I did not create these institutions for myself. They are meant for you. Yes, my dear friends, I was shocked. I left the divine abode pondering for a while what he could have meant. I believe Swami implied to say, it's my belief, that he has created these institutions as vehicles wherein we devotees can serve through them a glimpse of Swami's vision. Get motivated to do selfless seva. Dedicate seva will always put devotee on the path of self-realization, which is his only mission, our self-realization, our transformation. It is also my personal belief, my dear friends, that Swami's vision is embedded in a quote which I've extracted from a very famous letter the Swami wrote to the elder brother in May 25th, 1947. And that quote, 9 quotes in the letter says, I'm attached, Swami says, I'm attached to work that I love, to remove the sufferings of the poor and grant them what they lack. I'll repeat, Swami says, I'm attached to the work that I love, to remove the sufferings of the poor and grant them what they lack. Looking at it with a deeper thought, for me, it is so amazing to see the perfect blueprint of the Lord, of his long-term vision for the mankind, which is so intricately tied to his mission for his devotees. One may also ask, what is so unique about these institutions? These are rare institutions where only currency that is utilized is currency of love. There are no other transaction between the receiver and the giver, just pure love. Their sole purpose is to provide selfless services consisting of holistic education, like holistic health, and holistic social upliftment, free of cost, that who are dire need. Needless to say, my spiritual journey changed the course of our life to this simple and just a very profound sentence: these institutions are built for you. By his grace and blessings, this also became a motivational force in creation of Prasanthi Trust. My dear brothers and sisters, I can assure you from many experiences that our beloved Swami is given to us. Just like before, I would say even more, Swami's presence is felt. He has just moved from his physical form that we love and cherished to cosmic Sai. I call it Om. That's why he said this. That's why he is. He's not a physical body. In order to access him, all we need to do is to call upon it with full faith and sincere yearning to talk to him. Which is missing most of our time. While praying, Swami also reminds us, often praying to a picture, he says, don't turn me into a picture, but instead focus on seeing me in the picture and then converse with me. Only when you see Swami in the picture, they will respond to you. It does work, my friends. Try it. So this brings me a final thought before I close, which is based on questions commonly asked by devotees when I give talks like this. They are, how can we expedite our spiritual journey? Why are we still on the side lanes and not able to jump on Royal Expressway of transformation as promised by Swami? I believe it was 65th birthday Swami told. That they thought that my plane is ready. It's, those who want to come with me, they can jump on it. And it's infinite capacity. So he has given us the tools, the sadhana, the processes, but we refuse to follow them. Swami is ready to take us. Are we ready for that? So Swami reminds this same thought in a Vedic mantra for moksha. And it's simply translated as follows. He says, not by meritorious deeds, not by progeny, nor by wealth can moksha or transformation be attained. It can be experienced only through renunciation, which is detachment. He's implying all that we possess are gifts of God held with us in trust. Nothing belongs to us. It is His. If we accept the notion of trusteeship, then what happens? Ownership falls away. Selfless Seva then becomes a way of life automatically. And that gives us the absolute bliss. Ananda, which is nothing but moksha. And Bhagavad Gita says is that all you need to is remember God all the time. Like some Jivan Mukta. You live a regular human life, but you are liberated in the human body. And that's what moksha is, not anything different. So it's a trusteeship is what we got to understand is what's important. And once you trust that, everything is easy. And Swami, I was reading a quote yesterday in one of Swami's book, 9 Gems of Swami. Swami sums up this same mantra in a simple quote. He says, for all your activities, God is the prompter. God is the executor. God is the giver of all the required skills. And at the end of it, He is also enjoyer of the fruit thereof. Dedication must come naturally to you, the quote. For all is His and nothing is yours. Your duty is to believe He's the impeller of all your activities and draw strength from that belief. Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. All is in a nutshell, the quote saying is, be detached from whatever you have and put to good for not only for yourself, your family, but for your community and the person in need. In closing, my dear friend, I have a thought here. We all blessed with tremendous grace through darshan, Swami Sambhashan, and Sparshan. We verily are His contemporaries, and as His contemporaries, each one of us has the duty to live His message to the fullest. We are all trustees of His gifts, as said above. It is up to us how to deploy them wisely. Swami has given us that free will, how to use it, and that's in our hand. Having said that, I would like to express my gratitude to Brindavan Samarpan team for inviting me to today's Samarpan Satsang and the gracious support to plan this talk. In closing, I would like to reshare Swami's quote of his mission, of his vision. I am attached to the work that I love. Swami says, I'm attached to work that I love to remove the sufferings of the poor and grant them what they lack. So, dear brothers and sisters, each one of us has the opportunity to play a small role in his grand mission in removing the sufferings of the poor. Jai Sai Ram, and thank you.
Sai Ram. Swami says, I have come to light the lamp of love in your hearts and to see that it shines day by day with added lustre. This quote precisely crossed my thoughts as we enjoyed listening to your experiences with Bhagavan. As you beautifully mentioned, sir, in Swami's great mission for the well being of mankind, we are like that small little squirrel in Ramayana who was taking a small stone amongst the huge boulders to construct the Setu. And indeed, we are most fortunate to be a part of his great grand mission and pray that we be his worthy instruments. Thank you, Dr. Ramesh Wadhwani. This evening we have been most delighted to listen to your story of his love and his grace. We pray to Bhagavan to shower his choicest blessings on you and your whole family, and may you forever bask in his love. We sincerely thank Sri Sathya Sai Organizations Karnataka and Brindavan Management Committee for their total support to organize Samarpan every month. Most importantly, we thank the audiovisual team and the technical team for all the arrangements. Thanks to all the viewers who have been sharing the joy of the Lord's divine experiences. After celebrating the new year, next month we will have the 116th episode of Samarpan on the third Sunday of January 2021, premiering on the same channel. And till then, our loving Sai Ram to one and all.